Hey guys, it's Siobhan with Tarot and Beyond. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's reading, we're going to be looking at how to get unstuck. So the inspiration for this reading came this morning when I came across this video on tapping, which I will leave in the description box below. I also linked it and shared it on my community page. But essentially, this has been a theme that's been coming up for the past, I don't know, like couple of days or so for me, and I've been writing notes on it in my synchronicities journal. So Spirit wanted to talk about getting unstuck, how to do that for your specific situation, what you need, and maybe even what is keeping you stuck in the first place. So let's take a look at that. We've got three options as usual today. Group number one is represented by the guy with his foot stuck in that little hole. Group number two is the guy waiting for the elevator and feeling stuck that it's not coming. Group number three is the guy who's trying to get through the door. So select the group or groups that feel like they're resonating with you or pulling you towards the reading. There may be multiple messages in different groups for you if you feel called to more than one. Sometimes you might want to watch them all and just take what resonates, or you might want to watch them in certain orders, or maybe you're just called to one. Whatever the case is for you, trust your intuition. Your spirit will always guide you to the messages that are meant for you. And we'll see you in your readings. All right, hello group number one, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the guy who's got his foot stuck in the little hole, so I'm really excited to find out what it is that is creating this stuckness and how specifically to get out of it for you. So Spirit has called me to 6 different decks today. So I think we're going to start with this one. Yeah, let's start with this deck. All right, so for group number one, we have, ooh, like that. Look at that beautiful unicorn and fairy. So it says focus on service. Your soul desires only to joyfully serve and to swim in a constant stream of bliss. This stream continuously feeds you everything you need. Put your entire focus on staying in this stream of giving and receiving in every situation and all that you do. So for you, group number one, right away, they're talking about getting unstuck through focusing on service. So instead of focusing on what you can get back, focus on what you can give and how you can improve other people's lives, and how you can also, I think, be of service to yourself. You don't want to be going into that martyrdom energy and sacrificial, self-abandonment and stuff like that. But I'm seeing this being like the service that your soul is here to do is really important to get you unstuck, especially since you guys chose the image of the guy who's got his foot stuck in something. It's kind of like there may be these little pitfalls that are getting you out of focusing on your service, and they might feel like they're impeding your service in some way. I'm just getting a message of like you guys maybe feeling stuck in terms of how you can be of service or what you're meant to do in terms of your service for the collective. So let's take a look at that as well, because I think that, like they've said here, this is what's going to connect you to your bliss, and that is what gets you unstuck. So for group number one, what is this service and how can they get unstuck? I actually feel this card. Angels. Oh my God, I love that. You have a lot of angelic energy here. I mean, this, like the vibe from the unicorn and the fairies and the angels, it's like super magical, very earth. I just got earth elements, but I was going to say like earth angel. So definitely group number one, you are here to be of service to the collective. That is what earth angels are here to do. They are here to improve humanity through the energy of love, through the energy of unity, through the energy of what you can give in terms of service to the collective. It's all about being in service to others. Oh, they said move to a different deck. Okay. So since we were just talking about nature, spirit, it's these two. Okay. Let's see. Maintain your childlike spirit. A lot of fairies, earth elements, angel, like, yeah, there's very high vibrational energy in this group. Be true to your heart. There is so much that you are here to do, group number one. If you feel stuck right now in what you're supposed to do, not necessarily finding or having a sense of direction, not necessarily feeling like you know what is calling you forward, just know that you are on the right track. I don't know why, I'm getting that message that you're actually on the right track, and that even though you feel like you might be stuck in a hole right now where you're not moving forward, Spirit is like, no, actually you are. And the fact that you are asking these questions, or that you've been drawn to this reading today because your soul has been seeking these answers, is a good indication that you are actually doing a lot better than you think you are. Now, you are being called to basically like have clarity on what's happening right now. That's why they called you to the reading. And essentially what I'm seeing is that you are meant to kind of come back into this higher vibrational energy. The earth realm has kind of sucked you into its game of illusion. And the illusion is that you are separate, that you are not doing enough, that you're not good enough, that your desires cannot come to fruition, or something like that, or that you're not in this natural embodied state of pure bliss. But you are at soul level, and that is who and what you are. So you can't get away from that. Like, you can't lose that. You can't even not be that. Like, that's just what you are, you know? So there's something here about the illusion that they're showing me. 10 of Cups. Exactly what I was saying. It's like pure bliss. The 10 of Cups is the state of being that is pure bliss. And you cannot be anything but that, group number 1. They're showing me that so clearly. That is where you come from. That is what you are. And you have only forgotten it temporarily because the illusion, the very lulling song of the third dimensional realm has kind of put you into a hypnotic state where you forgot who and what you are. Remember who you are, group number 1. Let this be an activation for you at soul level to come back into your state of being. I'm channeling this energy to you right now from the divine, from the angels, from the spirit realm, to help you to remember who you are and to never forget that again. From here on out, from here forward, each step of yours will create peace in everything that you do, and the bliss of your constant state of being will flow through you and to the collective. You are not here to be stuck. You are not here to feel helpless. You are not here to suffer. You are here to be the bliss that you are. You are here to remember why you came, which is to be that bliss, to share that service in helping other people to come home to themselves. Remember who you are. The world, you're meant to help the world. You are meant to bring joy to the world. You are here as an angel. You are here as a blessing to the collective. You are here to heal the hearts of the masses, group number 1. That is your destiny. That is your purpose. Let that be the wind in your sails that carries you forward. It doesn't even matter what direction you go. As long as you are letting the winds of grace carry you, you are exactly on path and where you need to be. You could keep your foot stuck in that hole, but as long as you radiated bliss, you're still being of service. You're still helping the world. You could embrace being stuck right now and just choose to focus on the bliss. Choose to focus on what's around you and what's within you in that current and everlasting, ever-present state of joy and childlike curiosity. And that would be the most profound service to the collective that you could ever do. So why not do that? Okay, let's go into some coffee cup oracle. This is like a really powerful reading, group number 1. You are really powerful. Your spirit is entirely powerful. If you are feeling helpless, again, this is an illusion. You are powerful. You are the divine. Remember, be true to your own heart. Your heart holds infinite joy, infinite abundance, infinite bliss, and you're meant to bring people together in that energy. Stability and growth with the tree. I'm getting a lot of nature spirits here. You guys have a lot of connection to the elemental kingdom, the natural kingdom, and the fairy kingdom. The fairy kingdom and the angels. So it's very celestial, and yet it's very earth, nature-bound energy. Like, it's not... It is cosmic, but it's very earth, it's very nature. So if you're feeling too bound by the earth realm, let's look at it this way. If you're feeling too bound by the earth realm, like you're getting stuck in the mud of the earth realm, shift your energy to the fairy kingdom or the natural kingdom, because that's still earth energy, but it's extremely high vibrational. It's extremely childlike, curious, very, very healing, purifying. It's going to reconnect you to your divine energy. So you're still in the earth realm, but you're on a higher octave of the earth realm. So go into nature and see the fairies. Go talk to the trees. Go sit with the mushrooms. Go be with the moss. Go sit and smell the earth in the rain and the trees and the leaves, and go talk to the birds. Like, these are the types of energies that are going to reawaken your bliss, heal your heart, and get you back into the energy you're meant to be in, which is your natural state of being. This is also going to create a lot of stability and growth for you, group number one. I'm feeling like you are here to create this rooted happiness here. They just showed me this tree in the background as well. So you've got the tree here in the 10 of Cups, and then also the tree with the stability and growth. So you're meant to be here to create roots of joy, roots of bliss, and to eradicate the roots of distortion. That's what they just said, the roots of distortion. Now, I think those roots of distortion in the third dimensional realm are the lower dimensional earth grid, which is based on suffering and pain and hopelessness and helplessness and feeling trapped. It's also connected to trauma. So there's like, you guys have a very big purpose. Like, you guys are a big deal, group number one. And the way that you are meant to be of service is to be in your highest vibration. It's to be childlike and free, to play, to explore, to be curious, to love deeply, and to see the good in everything and everyone, because you are that. Yeah, I get a lot of childlike energy here. So really reconnect to your inner child. Maybe you're even here to meant to be of service to children, raising children, being around children, helping them to reconnect to their sovereignty, to their angelic presence, or to their high vibrational energy too. We have Gambler in reverse. So these are archetype cards. The Gambler in reverse is the shadow. So this is relying on luck rather than hard work. The Gambler upright is willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. You know, you do have work to do, group number one. You do. You have work to do here. It's not all fun and games, but the cool thing about this is that your work is fun and games. So, like, ironically, your work doesn't actually have to feel like work. It should feel fun. And if it's not feeling fun, then you're doing it wrong. Sorry, but it's true. If your work is not feeling, if your service is not feeling like fun, then you're doing it wrong. Because you're meant to be the light. You're meant to be fun. You're meant to be, yeah, sure, there are heavy things here too, but you're meant to be a radiant light, group number one. And luck and intuition and the prosperity of life, the luxury of life are here for you. The only thing that is blocking that desire or keeping it from entering your reality is you doubting yourself. Or in a more externalized way, doubting that this world can provide that for you. But really, what you need to understand here, group number one, is that to get unstuck, this new direction, or really just like this freedom and this state of being of freedom, it's not as big of a risk as you think it is. It's not something you need to work so hard for. The work itself, the service itself, is being in joy. It's being in that stream of bliss. It's being fully content right now with what you are, what you have, and maintaining that. I mean, the work is really maintaining that. That's the work. And, you know, that's where your luck opens up, because the more that you stay in that childlike spirit and you maintain that, and you maintain your heart frequency, you keep your vibration high, the easier everything gets. It's like, I always say, and I use this example a lot, it's like in Harry Potter when he takes the Felix Felicis serum, liquid luck. It's a potion that actually creates luck. That example, like how he feels and everything that unfolds after that, is like what that's a really great sort of visual on what it's like to be in alignment with the stream of the divine. That's what it's like. Everything just works out for you. You feel it. You intuitively feel pulled in certain directions, and you follow it with a state of joy and bliss that is unperturbed and unimpeded. That luck that you're looking for here is in your maintenance of your high vibration. That's the only work you need to focus on. So what does that mean for you? Well, essentially, you need to learn to not let the outside world destabilize you, not let the outside world corrupt your heart, not let it force you out of your childlike spirit. So call on your angels. You have a lot of support here, group number 1. I'm seeing that very clearly. You have angels, you have fairies, you have guides, you have cosmic beings. I see that very clearly too. You have multitudes of support around the world here in physical form too, like other light workers who are meant to be in this energy as well. If you team up with them, it makes it easier because you guys kind of like support each other's energy, and it makes it a lot simpler to stay in that childlike state because you're reflecting that reality back to each other. It's like a positive uplifting effect because you're mirroring that beauty back and forth, and it kind of takes some of the suffering out of the equation because you're not seeing a distorted reality mirrored back to you. Okay, I did mention the martyr, and here it is. It was sitting on the top of the deck the whole time without us even knowing, but I did mention that on Focus on Service. You are not meant to be a martyr, group number 1. That is not what's going to be of service to the collective, because that's a low vibration, and you're not meant to be in a low vibration. You're meant to be in a super, super high vibration of bliss and joy. That is your service. So the light attribute here is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause, and the cause here is joy. The cause here is bliss. The cause here is beauty. Like, the more you're in that, the more you're being of service. Follow that line of thought. Follow that. Follow what makes you happy. The shadow side of martyrdom is addiction to self-pity, which is that feeling of stuckness. That's the trap, group number 1. That's the trap. That's the third dimensional matrix grid system getting you looped into its distorted root system and keeping you in that feeling of I can't have what I need, I don't have enough, I'm not enough, I constantly have to sacrifice things, I have to give up things that I need so that I can get things outside of myself. It's a false system, group number 1. It's fake. Don't listen to that. And I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you right now, group number 1, because I can tell you that I'm speaking right now channeling my higher self, and I'm speaking to my lower self, Siobhan. She's been having a hard time with this. She's in this group. Okay, I'm speaking in third person because I'm both people right now. And maybe you'll relate to this too. It's like your higher self is fully aware of this, but your human self is having a hard time. And this is where we need to reconnect to our higher self more often. Group number 1, I'm again speaking to myself too here, because that's what helps to maintain that childlike spirit. That's what helps to reaffirm what's in our heart and what's in that higher vibration, and keeps us away from this distorted martyr archetype of, if I'm going to be of service, then I have to give everything of myself and run myself ragged and abandon myself and be in pain. No, that's a distorted imprint. And that's what Spirit's been teaching me lately. They've actually been like walking me through this process of unprogramming some serious like implants from distorted templates from Atlantis. Like, this goes way back. And they're having me talk about it right now because it's relevant. So there's something called a crucifixion implant, okay? And this is implanted into the crown chakra. And what this does is it distorts your mind into believing that you're trapped in this matrix where you need to be in service. You have to martyr yourself. You have to be in pain. You have to sacrifice. You have to bleed, And it's not true. It's not true. It's a distorted implant that is meant to keep you looping in that distorted, low vibrational system. That is not what being of service is. You're meant to be the light. I do feel this other card on top here. We've got gossip in reverse, thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. The light attribute is awakens consideration for the feelings of others and honors trust. I feel like this is you being able to trust yourself and these higher vibrational teammates that you have here in the physical and also on the other side. It's, again, it's part of the distorted matrix to create distrust. So deprogram yourself, group number 1. Yeah, they want another one of these cards. These are karma cards, and these are like past life ones. So I feel like we're going to get some information about maybe some past energy that was involved in this. Authority figures. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting this energy of distortion that may have come from your family of origin, group number 1. The authority figure, like our primary first ever experience with authority figures are our parents. And I'm getting this energy of like when you were a child, you were taught in some way, whether it was through the modeling of certain behaviors of self-sacrifice, like in a negative way and keeping that loop into the trauma of helplessness, or you were exposed to your parents battling against external authority figures like government or court systems or something like that. I'm seeing here that this is part of the healing that is going to get you out of that matrix system of suffering and put you back into your own personal power. It's going to restore the natural balance within you so that you can really return to your natural state of being, which is, again, it's bliss, joy, happiness, very high vibrational, very, very pure. But it was distorted by what you heard, what you saw, what you experienced, traumas that you may have gone through that were intentionally kind of put there to keep you disconnected from yourself so you wouldn't see the truth of your state of being. But this is changing now, group number 1. This is changing. The game is changing, okay? And you're changing it. You are changing it from the inside out. The more that you reconnect to yourself, the more that you do, I'm seeing like energetic healing being really important for you right now. So if you can focus on doing some kind of energetic healing for the heart chakra specifically, I think that's going to be really helpful. So you can do Reiki. I just recently found a really powerful Reiki channel called Healing and Beyond. I'll try to remember to link that in the description box as well. Spirit brought that channel across my radar exactly when I needed it, and there were so many synchronicities around it, so I'm feeling called to mention it here for you as well, group number 1. So healing through universal life force energy, through reconnection to your higher self, through reconnection to your inner child, healing through connection to the angels and to the fairy kingdom, healing through bliss and joy and creative expression and fun and play. Those are the things. I'm also seeing frequency. They're showing me the gramophone here in this card and the seashell, so it's like listening to high vibrational frequency music. So this could be using the solfeggio scale frequencies, specifically 428 hertz, which is connected to the heart chakra. That will help to purify things as well. You can do crystals. I'm seeing the crystal she's holding in her hand here being very, very important. So you want to use specific crystals. I heard angel aura quartz, auralite. I heard auralite. Something about aura, like these crystals that have to do with the aura or have aura in the name for whatever reason, that's going to help too. I think it's purifying and cleansing your aura, right? Like it's getting you back into your pure vibrational state because you kind of got some of that muck on you from the third dimensional drama that was going on when you were a child. And how that has impacted you now and warped your thinking, group number 1. It's like it warped your perspective and it kept you looping in this feedback of giving too much and then not getting enough, or being in service in a distorted way. So really the work here, group 1, is to stay in your high vibrational state. Anytime that you notice yourself going into that self-pity, helplessness, or overgiving and not getting, feeling resentful, having things be really distorted around you from other people, anything like that showing up, or if you have like face-offs with authority figures, or you feel challenged in any way, the challenge here to overcome is to not let that external mirror distort your perception of self and what you know to be true. So this is really like every time that you're faced with something challenging, choosing to return into peace and love and joy and bliss, which is not an easy task when you're being faced with some challenging things at the physical level. But that's why this is work, right? It is work. It's not... It's meant to be fun because that's what's going to bring you back into that state of being. But it is hard to get past that feeling of helplessness, or to get past that feeling of lack or separation or fear or doubt or pain. It's challenging, but you can do it. Group number 1. Heal the root system. Heal the root system, and you heal the entire system. The root lays in your mind. So the root cause is in your mind, group number 1. They just said heal the heart, heal the mind. Yeah, I'm seeing you transmuting. Like, you're such a powerful, pure spirit, group number 1, that you're here to transmute. That's why your role here is so important, is because you transmute by choosing joy. So try to incorporate play into your daily life. That's what's going to help you get unstuck. Transcend, okay? Transcend through service to this cause, which this cause is you being in your joy. That's like whatever you enjoy doing, whatever feels like fun to you, whatever keeps you in that state of I have everything I need and more. That's what's going to serve the world, okay? You can do this. I know it's easier said than done, but you can do this. We can do this, group number 1. All right, I'm right there with you. We're doing it together, okay? All right, group 1, I'm pretty sure that's it. So that is the message for you in terms of getting unstuck. It's really being in your high vibrational state and maintaining that. That's it. That's the only work that you are meant to be doing here, and it's meant to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then you're in that false system. Just remind yourself of that anytime that happens, and choose to get out of it by enjoying the moment. Find something in the moment that you can enjoy, or do something in the moment that will bring you back into joy. Okay? Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. All right. You got this. We got this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here on the channel and for being here on the planet in this service. We need more people like you, like us out there being in this true pure energy, so that we can all have this here on Earth. That's what we intended, and that's what we're doing. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you again, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the image of the guy kind of waiting for the elevator, and initially, right off the bat, what I'm getting is that you guys may have felt like you wanted to ascend higher. You wanted to get to a higher level in your life, and you've been waiting around, like you've pressed the button and you're waiting for it to happen, or you're waiting for your access point, and it's not coming. And there's this frustration that I'm feeling. There's like hope is almost like fading out of the body. You know, if you had like 100% hope and it was all the way to the top of your head, it's like moving steadily down, down, down instead of going up, you know? So I'm seeing you really having a hard time right now maintaining the faith that this is going to happen, as you're waiting for this opportunity, or for this spike, or for this this upward trajectory to become accessible to you. The elevator also reminds me of ascension, like literally ascending to a higher timeline, ascending through the connection to higher potentials or more expanded knowledge as well. There could be a connection to the Akashic records, because you can use the visual of the spiral staircase, which I will be creating a guided meditation and activation for. So keep an eye out for that coming up as well. Or you can use the elevator, and I'll talk about what the difference is and how to do that in the activation. But yeah, basically group number 2, I'm seeing that you guys are having a hard time right now waiting for this opportunity. What feels like forever is what I just heard. Yeah, it feels like forever that you've been sitting around here waiting for this, and it feels stuck. Of course, that's what the topic of the reading is. So let's find out some information. You have male, female. These are past life karma cards as well, so I might read those in that context as well if it feels relevant. An orphan. Okay, so we've got an orphan imprint here, group number 1 or group number 2. The orphan imprint is feeling disconnected, feeling separated, feeling as though you don't have a family of origin that you can rely on, whether or not you are literally orphaned or you just feel disconnected emotionally from, let's say, for example, the mother-father, so the male-female. So there could be something about this within as well where there's like self-abandonment. I accidentally said group 1, so you may have watched that, or it may be relevant to that martyr archetype and the crucifixion implant we were talking about there. So the orphan complex, or the orphan distortion, let's call it that, is like a tool for these like negative energies and entities to keep you stuck and disconnected from yourself. So this is like pretty intense stuff that we're talking about here. But if you can reunite the connection between you and you are going to see yourself ascend quite quickly. Like that elevator will come. Relationships. So this definitely has to do with your relationships and the male-female archetype within yourself and how that reflects in your relationships with others. You may have experienced abandonment in your romantic relationships, feeling like you can't trust people to be there for you. You may have experienced abandonment either physically or emotionally in your primary relationships with your caregivers. So relationships are a big thing here. And if you can heal that, that's going to give you that access point is what they're showing me. It's like the elevator dings, the doors open, and you're able to move up. The only thing that's keeping you stuck in the lower vibrational density, waiting around for this elevator to come, is it's not that there's something wrong with the elevator. It's not that even that there's something wrong with you. There's this distortion in the availability to raise higher because the consciousness has been kind of trapped or encapsulated in this feeling of being left behind. And again, that's even if we look at the archetype of the elevator not coming, it's like being left behind. Like you're meant to be at that upper level and it's not happening and you feel left behind or abandoned. So it says here in relationship, your primary relationship is with yourself and God, and every other relationship follows from there. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, snuggle more closely with your loving Creator. As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. So this is really talking about coming back into harmony with yourself, coming back into union with yourself. So you guys, some of you in group number 2 may identify as being on the twin flame journey. Maybe that was something that sparked your awakening or something that you've been looking into or feel called to. The twin flame journey is not about another person. It's about you unionizing. Well, yeah, kind of, but it's like reuniting the aspects of male and female within yourself. So we all have both polarities. And I think some of this healing is going to go back to your primary caregivers. Some of it is going to stem from, they did just give me the phrase hierogamic union. That will overcome and overwrite the orphan blueprint. But you have to come back into union with yourself. It's like knowing that you're not separate from that which you seek. Cleanse and detoxify. With great love and respect, we ask you to detoxify your precious and sensitive body. At your request, we'll help you to develop life-affirming ways to deal with stress, as well as ease any sorrow at shedding your old ways. Give your cares, worries, and concerns to us and feel the beautiful grace of your newly purified body. Your relationship with yourself includes your body, okay? Like your body is an extension of you. It's also kind of separate from you in a sense. So having connection to your body, having connection to the inner polarity of masculine, feminine within, that's going to help improve the relationships you have on the outside. So you won't feel like you are being constantly devalued or abandoned, left behind, ostracized, rejected, judged. So the first place you want to start with that group number 1 is with yourself. Like no judging yourself, no treating yourself like crap, no abandoning yourself emotionally or physically, no neglecting yourself, no choosing people who abandon and damage you, because that's also self-abandonment. So we're talking really about like you coming into this healthy relationship dynamic with yourself. They did just give me the phrase secure attachment. So you might also want to look at your attachment style. Attachment styles in early childhood, if we don't get the nurturing and care we receive, can become fractured. And we see that show up as fearful avoidant attachment style, anxious avoidant in general. So there's many just sort of like offshoots or brands of that depending on what we experienced and how we responded to that unhealthy environment. But it can be healed. You can come back into secure attachment by renewing this healthy relationship with yourself and learning the tools to be able to build and rebuild that. We do have fresh air on the bottom of the deck as well, which is talking about, again, cleansing and detoxifying. So you might want to be doing some lung healing. Lungs are connected to the heart chakra, which is also connected to relationships. So there could be something to do with fresh air, physical body rejuvenation. They just showed me somebody exercising outside and getting a lot of like fresh rejuvenating air into the lungs. That's going to be really helpful. Like trees are also being highlighted right now to me in my mind. So they're talking about, like trees are the lungs of the earth, right? So they really want you to focus on rejuvenating your lungs. You may have experienced some damage to your lungs, group number 1. If I don't know if that's for everyone, but I'm getting a message of like lung damage or something going on in the lungs. Maybe you smoked, or you still do, or maybe somebody in your home smoked as a child around you a lot and you breathed that in. Yeah, there's something about getting cleansed and detoxified through fresh air, okay? So that's going to be important. Specifically, they're giving me the scent of like pine needles, and there's something about, I think there's an actual word for that, and it does help to detoxify and cleanse the lungs because it acts as a vasodilator and it helps more oxygen to get in. So being around like pine trees could be important. Okay, actually, let me put that on the table here. It feels relevant. We also have let your past go on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this does feel like the orphan wound comes from childhood. We were talking a little bit about that in group 1, but just in a different context. But I see this here for you. Group number 2 is kind of what's keeping you in this feeling of like you can't move forward or things aren't working. Speaking of the past, I want to go back into this deck because it is past life oriented. So what is this connection for group number 1 and how can they get unstuck from it? Oh, wow. Imprisonment or slavery. So you may have experienced feeling stuck because in past lives, you were imprisoned or a slave, maybe because you were an orphan. Like, let's say, for example, your parents died at an early age, or they gave you up for some reason in a past life and you ended up in an orphanage. This may have felt like a prison to you, like you couldn't leave, you had no options, you didn't have the healthy, stable relationships that would keep you feeling good and physically healthy, because the sorrow, they just drew me to the word sorrow and shedding of the old ways. The sorrow really negatively impacts your health, and they keep showing me the lungs. So it's like the heaviness in the heart can negatively impact the lungs. It can cause them to constrict and you don't get as deep of a breath. And this can even correlate to physical dynamics in like the neurochemistry and the nerves, where like when we're constantly under stress or pain, the nerves cause the diaphragm to restrict, so you physically can't breathe as deeply. It's like you're missing out on that good quality oxygenation from deep belly breaths, and instead you're doing shallow chest breaths. So there's something about this as well. And again, they're emphasizing cleansing and detoxifying. Reiki, heart chakra healing could be important here. We talked a little bit about that in group 1. 428 hertz healing frequency can help. There's a ton of free content like that here on YouTube that you can access. But they're definitely talking about getting out in nature. So let's look at the Nature's Whispers cards next. Group number, it is those 3, okay. Group number 2, fresh approach. And I almost wanted to say fresh air when I read that. So yeah, fresh air, fresh approach. That's what's going to get you unstuck here. Not coming from the past. These were like false timelines. These were impairment wounds is what I just heard. Impairment wounds. Interesting. Clear endeavor. I keep getting this energy of like clean, fresh air. They are really emphasizing that that's super important for you, group number 2. And the perfect setting. I did just hear move to the mountains, and they were showing me these mountains here as well. So maybe the mountains have like fresher pine air. If you live in a city, this fresh approach could literally be moving to a different location, group number 2. I don't think that's for everyone. If that resonates with you, if you've been seeing synchronicities about that, or if you felt that impulse, that is a message confirming that for you. Okay, let's get some archetype cards for group number 2. How can they get unstuck? Yeah, it is those 4. Okay, I was gonna say, is it the 2 or is it all 4? And it's all 4. So we have the child and nature. You know, what's funny is that right before I did this reading, I was pre-shuffling the deck. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. And I noticed that I had this one card in here that I put in here years ago, and I forgot about it. I lost the deck to this one. I don't have that. It was my mom's, or she lost it. I can't remember, but I have this one card, so I just randomly stuck it in this deck, and I turned it over and I looked at it randomly right before doing your reading, and we have the energy of kindness. And you can see this little fairy here with the bunny and with the rabbit, and that's very similar image here. It's like hugging the rabbit. So there's something here about innocence. That's what it feels like to me. It's childlike innocence. And they're talking about nature here. That's why I feel like this is also connected to group 1, because we were talking a lot about that there too. So child and nature, it says friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. The shadow attribute is a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. So you may have been abused, group number 2, as an orphan, in past lives, and Spirit is asking you to take a fresh approach here so that you're not still looping in that old timeline energy, in that wound. Now they are asking you to clean and detoxify this. Now how are you going to do that? Well, again, they're talking about nature here. So getting connected to nature, moving somewhere where nature is more accessible to you, being around the trees, the plants, the animals. This really, really heals your spirit. It heals your heart, and it's going to improve your relationship with yourself. Detective, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. The shadow attribute, voyeurism, falsifying information. I'm seeing that these timelines of imprisonment and slavery and orphaned energy and the distortion of separation between male and female within was false information. And you are playing the detective in this life, group number 2. You would not have been led to this reading. It wouldn't have even showed up on your timeline, both physically on the YouTube algorithm, but also like in terms of your manifested reality. This video would not have shown up. You would not have clicked on it, and you would not have chosen this group if you were not a detective. So in this lifetime, you're seeing through the distortion. I did mention the Akashic records in the first part of the reading, and they're showing me the book here, and like she's seeing through the book. Okay, so you may be called to do some kind of Akashic work on these past life wounds around orphanage, around imprisonment and slavery, around disconnection and distorted relationship patterns, because the Akashic knowledge is there, is what they just said, and you can access it because that is, it's within you. It's not separate from you. It's part of your soul blueprint. All you need to do is just see it. And that's why they've drawn you to this reading, is so you have some knowledge and awareness of what this is and how to access it. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. So stay tuned for the upcoming Akashic reading and the Akashic activation, which will be downloadable for you guys. So you guys can use that multiple times to go into the Akash, train yourself to look for this information, to have these visuals or sensations or the intuitive information you need to be able to clear this. Okay, so you're going to play the detective. You are playing the detective right now, group number 1. Sorry, 2. I keep saying 1 because these 2 energies feel very similar. It's almost like they're It's just I've flowed from group 1 into group 2, and it's almost like it's the same reading. Okay, Queen radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The opposite side, the shadow, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. This may have to do with a mother archetype. Yeah, that it feels like you need to reconnect to your divine feminine, group number 1. And that doesn't matter if you are male or female, because again, we all have both. So it's reconnecting and healing the relationship to the feminine, which is going to catalyze the healing and reconnection to the masculine. Releasing control. I'm seeing that very clearly as well. Okay, what's this? Poet. Light attribute expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and the shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. So I'm seeing this symbolic language being important, and that is how spirit communicates. That's why we have to be detectives, is because spirit communicates through poetry, through symbolic language, through images, like in dreams, right? This reality is a waking dream. So if you can speak the language of spirit, you can better play detective and understand the clues, put things together, and then find what has been preventing this raise of consciousness or this freedom from within. Okay, we're going to get some tarot. So for group 2, what do they need to do to free themselves? I mean, we've talked a little bit about that, but how can they get unstuck, spirit? What do they need to do? What do they need to know? Strength. So having strength, having the strength to face some of these things, to understand them, to overcome them, to come out of the slumber, they just said as well, to come out of the slumber. The slumber is basically like operating on autopilot. So they're really talking a lot about like this fresh perspective, being able to see these pieces of the puzzle, put them together and understand them, and then have the strength to overcome them. Let's go into this deck as well. That was the only card that they wanted from the tarot. Change and purity with Gazelle. So they're talking a lot about change. I think changing your environment is going to be important here, group number 2. The fresh air, the perfect setting, the child nature. It feels like very much like this purification, which is also connected to the release and detoxify card, is going to come through this fresh environment. So changing up your home, changing where you live, even just opening your windows. They're talking so much about airflow for some reason. Oh, perhaps because in previous lifetimes you experienced this imprisonment or slavery, you were cut off from the natural world, like being in a cell, literally being in a cell, no windows, or if there was a window, it wouldn't open, right? So you had no fresh air. It was stuck and stagnant, like being trapped in an elevator. It's like being in a cell. Some of you here might even have claustrophobia. I just got that message as well. If that's the case, it comes from feeling trapped in these cells that you lived in previous lifetimes. Conversely, on the other side of that, some of you may even feel more comfortable in smaller confined spaces because, again, you spent a lot of time in that and got used to it. So I think it varies from person to person, but I'm seeing that they're talking a lot about changing your environment. That's going to be important. I see this crown, success and pride. So they're talking, look at that, the queen and the crown. You guys, this is very much connected to the divine feminine and healing the wound of the divine feminine feeling disconnected from herself. You also have old woman on the bottom of the deck too. So group number 2, this is talking a lot about you coming back into harmony with your divine feminine energy. Healing your inner child through connection to nature. Changing your environment, purifying your environment, getting airflow, heart chakra, lungs, doing some Akashic work to clear some of these karmic patterns from the past or these wounded templates. And coming back into your sovereignty, your regality. That's very important here, group number 2. You have to know that you are in control of your life. And you may have come up against authority figures like a queen. Let's say, for example, you lived in a past life where a queen who was in a position of authority really saw you as some kind of a blight and put you into confinement, or there was something happened. Or, oh, I just got another message also of you being a queen who was prosecuted or persecuted against and then put into slavery. Possibly because some king that you were in relationship with just like changed their mind, or, you know, didn't want. I'm getting arrogance and pride. Yeah, there's something about arrogance and pride, and they did say pride will be your downfall. Maybe you became too prideful because of some wound that was underneath the surface. You know, pride, distorted pride and arrogance come from insecurity. And we were talking about insecure attachment styles, so that kind of tracks. Yeah, so there's something about a past life. Again, I encourage you to dive into your own Akashic record, and yes, you can access that for yourself. And I will provide the resources for you guys to be able to do that, okay? So, yeah, they're showing me the lion. There's like little lions in this card as well. I don't think, even if I show it to you, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there's like a little lion right here. You got the strength card with the lion. So Richard the Lionheart may have been significant here. That was a king. Maybe you were involved with him in a past life, something like that. Maybe you were him. Who knows? We don't know. But there's something about the lion here, which is regal. It's the king of the jungle. So there's something about kings and queens here. And it's past life related. It's in your Akashic record. And clearing and detoxifying yourself from that is going to help to improve your vibrational state. And it's going to get you to the next level in your life. Group number 2. Okay, really interesting. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I hope that this reading helped you to give some clues so you can play detective and free yourself from these things. Reincorporate fresh air, okay? Get out into nature, be connected to the trees, reconnect to your own sovereignty as well. That's important. And speak the language of spirit. I'm going to come out with more information on how to do that as well. So stay tuned, stick around, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 3, welcome to your reading. You guys chose this image of the guy who's trying to get through the door. So it feels like something is physically locked to you or blocked to you. All right, so I'm feeling energetically that you may have been struggling with this for quite some time. I'm getting like 2-3 years specifically. So you may have been like pulling on this door, trying to get through it, trying to gain access, trying to move to this next domain in your life and feeling as though it's blocked. I did just get job. So this may be in a career or in a job. You may have felt like you're trying to get to the next level and you're not getting there, or you're trying to get through the door or get your foot in the door and it's not happening. So let's find out what's going on here. We're going to start with the Nature's Whispers deck. What is going on for group 3? How can they get unstuck, Spirit? What do they need to know today? Why were they drawn to this reading? I see this one, and this one in that order. Fresh approach. Okay, number 21 just stood out to me there. Heighten your vitality. I just got shamanic energy. Okay. Shamanic healing may heighten your vitality. And we have make a decision. Okay. So group number 3. I feel like you're tired. Let me just say that first and foremost. I feel like you're tired because you've been trying to get through this door for so long, and you've been kind of like stuck in limbo almost, you know, and you've been feeling trapped perhaps in this effort to get through, but it's not happening. And they're actually, okay, they just showed me this little guy in the corner here. He looks like he's from the Amazon or something. So they're giving me very like natural shamanistic type of energy. So there's something here about like using the power of nature to heal. This has come up, this theme has been in every single one of these groups today in this reading. So there's something about the natural world that's very healing. Okay, we have unrequited love as well. And I want to put this here under fresh approach. You may, this may also be to do with love and romance. Like you might have been trying to get a person to love you back. It's like you're trying to force open the door for connection that the other person is just not reciprocating. And you need to make a decision about how you're going to move forward. But I am still getting job energy, so I think it's both. We have hunger and food in reverse. Okay, hold on. Hunger and food. Heightening your vitality, eating the right foods. They just keep telling me shamanic cleansing. There may be like nurturing rituals through shamanic work that are connected to food, or that will nurture and, yeah, they're just telling me it's going to nurture and revitalize your soul, like food for the soul. Food for the soul. You're starving right now, group number 3, and you need nourishment. Not physically, but like energetically, spiritually. You're starved. This is coming from this unrequited love template. So like if you keep investing in something, or you keep giving something your focused attention and effort, and it's not reciprocating, this leads you to energetically starve. That's why they're saying you need to make a decision. You need to take a fresh approach. You can't keep doing the same thing because it doesn't work. And all it's doing is draining you. That's what they're saying here. So whether this is in business, or it's in love, or it's both, they're speaking very clearly here about not continuing to persist in the same direction that you've been attempting to go. Like that's not working. Okay, I'm just grabbing this other deck here. So group number 3, what is the new direction, or what's the decision they need to make in regard to this stuckness and the fresh approach that's being advised here, Spirit? What do they need to know? Trustworthy guidance. You've received a wonderful idea as an answer to your prayers. This idea is real and trustworthy. You can safely move forward with it, knowing that we are with you every step of the way. Ask for and be open to receiving our support for anything that you need related to this idea. Okay, so you're getting like very divine guidance right now, group number 3, or you will be very soon, and they want you to make a decision on that, because there's a fresh approach that they're saying is going to revitalize and heighten your vitality. It's going to get you out of this feeling of lack of reciprocation or unrequited energy or efforts, and you're going to feel a lot better, and you're going to be able to safely move forward, like it says here in this card. Like you will get through the door, or you'll get through a different door, or there will be a hallway that opens up, or a window. Like there's something else here that you're not, maybe you haven't seen as an option, but they're going to be illuminating that for you. Let me see. Steady progress. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. Okay, they just really stood out to me here. Daily activities. So you may be getting guidance in what you can change, or what a fresh approach you can take in your daily activities. Again, when it comes to work, that is something that we do daily. So I think that this is switching up how you work, or what you do for work. Group number 3. Yeah, life purpose on the bottom. The purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus on serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. So this is definitely related to your purpose, to your work. I just heard business as well. Yeah. Okay. They're saying that there's steady progress happening here. Maybe you just don't see it, but I also feel like there's going to be steady progress when you shift your approach, or you change the way or what you're doing. News and messages with the birds. You also have trustworthy guidance. So they're bringing you information here, group number 3, like very, very clearly. They are telling you specifically through your thoughts and in connection to your daily habits, routines, and actions. They keep giving me that message. So pay attention to your thoughts as you're going about your day. Pay attention to the things that you're doing every day, and ask yourself, is this reciprocating? Is this action giving me more? Or, yeah, it's like, I just heard cost to investment ratio or something like that. I don't know what that means, but there's like, okay, well, basically what I'm taking from it is like, the example they're giving me is kind of like food. that gives you nourishment like calories, right? If it costs less to digest it than the nourishment that you're getting from it, then it's going to create more than what you need. But if it's costing you more to digest it than the substance within it provides, then you go into deficit. So that's what they're showing me. That's why there's like this lack of nourishment energetically, is because some of the daily tasks that you've been doing are taking more from you than they're giving. So you go into energetic debt. Yeah, energetic debt. That's why you need a fresh approach here, because whatever you're doing, it doesn't create steady progress, because you might burn out too quickly, or it's not sustainable, or it's like you're giving more than you're getting. So be very, very, very mindful of your thoughts, because the angels, your guides, they're bringing you some kind of news. Heart, love, and new love. Yeah, there could be a romantic relationship that is meant to help you heal your heart and okay, my nose is going crazy. That happens when it's like a really, really important message. You guys need to balance the give and receive, like give and take. There's something to do with unrequited love and love or new love coming in. Somehow this is going to contribute to your steady progress. I don't know how this is all connected. I think I need more information. Okay. Oh, okay. 8 of Cups. This could be walking away from a relationship that is not reciprocating, or where there's like not, it's like unrequited love. So investing a lot into someone who doesn't love you back, or doing a lot for someone who doesn't, it's not a fair exchange. They just keep giving me that energy of not a fair exchange. 10 of Wands. You've taken on so much burden and responsibility, group number 3, but it's like you're not getting it back in return. If this is a work situation, then this could be leaving that particular job, and because it's not giving you that return that you need, and it's just putting you into energetic debt and leaving you starving, which is not productive, and that's not sustainable. If this is a relationship, then again, this could be telling you that this person is not a good investment of your time, your energy, and your love, because they're not giving back to you, and all that results for you is this feeling of burden and resentment and being overdrawn energetically or financially even too. Okay. It's like you've got to choose who and what you give your energy to. That's like the biggest thing that I'm seeing here in your reading so far, group number 3. You have Destroyer. The light attributes is releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. The shadow attribute is intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. I feel like you are needing to release something here, group number 3, and it is destructive in your life. It's leaving you in deficit. It's leaving you in debt. So it does need to go. You need to walk away from it and pursue your own purpose, what feels purposeful for you, and doesn't simply create burden on you. I feel like okay. Alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, and shadow attribute is misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. There's something about spiritual practice here that's really important. Again, they're bringing me back to that shaman energy, something about shamanism. They're going to give you more information on that. They just told me. So pay attention to your intuition or synchronicities, signs and symbols as they come up over specifically the next week, they just told me, after you watch this reading, group number 3. So there's going to be some information about shamanic healing techniques or a new direction, maybe into shamanism. Maybe you're meant to be a shaman. I could interpret it that way too. But there's something here that it's like your potential is being thwarted because the investment of energy is not being returned to you. So you do need to find a new direction here, group number 3, because if you continue to do what you're doing, you're going to be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. That's what they just told me. And they showed me the canoe, little canoe there. Okay, so there's something about like, don't put yourself in that position, okay? You got to make a decision here to walk away from something or someone that is significantly hindering your progress Maybe it's a really, yeah, it could be like a friendship or a romantic partner that is really dragging on you energetically. It's like they're holding you back. I think if you can take this fresh approach, you're going to be able to alchemize something here. So it's almost like instead of continuing to pull on the door, instead you turn your back on it and you sit down, because this is what they're showing me in my mind. Okay, this is the example. So it's like you're pulling on the door, pulling on the door, pulling on the door, and you're exerting all this energy. You're getting super tired and, exhausted, energetically depleted, and you're not getting anywhere. And so what they showed me was you like letting go of the doorknob, turning around, turning your back on the door, and sitting down in front of it. And what they showed me was actually you like meditating and then realizing that the door doesn't exist. The door doesn't exist, group number 3. It was like this Matrix moment, like in the Matrix, when he goes to the Oracle's house and he sees the kid bending the spoon. And it's like, you don't bend the spoon doesn't exist. You bend your mind. So this is like really deep, and I just got like a huge wave of energy go through me, and I just got like a little bit dizzy and like off balance. So this is like a huge energetic shift for you, group number 3, and I think that's why the alchemy and the transmutation and the shamanistic approach is going to serve you very well, because it's giving you this inner restructuring process that will lead to progress going forward. It's like you're taking all of this heavy stuff that you were experiencing as a block, and you can turn it into something else in your mind simply through this fresh approach. I don't know how else to explain this, group number 3, so I hope that your guides are able to give you some very specific, personalized messages in regard to this process and what it'll look like for you. But what they're showing me is essentially like you choosing not to pursue that resistance and choosing not to believe in that resistance. And then as you let go of it, as you release it, as you choose not to invest more energy into that, it's like you transmute it, you break the curse, because you no longer invest your energy in it. It's like the resistance was keeping the resistance there. Does that make sense? And the second that you're like, okay, I'm done with it, it's like it dissolves. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like a destructive process that's taking place within this, but it's ultimately allowing you to be reborn in a sense, because you're not going to be stuck to that idea of something being in your way. Okay, there's something here about stars, something about birds, angelic messengers. So keep an eye out for synchronicities or symbols around stars, birds. There's going to be an answer to your prayers. They just took me back to that again, and you'll be able to clearly make this decision. It will become clear, is what they keep telling me. There's something about the tip of the iceberg as well, and they were showing me the shamans again, so this could be like something tribal or ancestral in your DNA as well. Yeah, I feel like you come from a shamanic bloodline, group number 3. Okay, I'm getting that message, so I gotta say it. There's something, there's shamanic practices in the line that you come from, and at soul level, like that's physically, but at soul level, there's something to do with past lives as well, where you have been in certain lifetimes where you've had to go through some certain like deficits, hard things where you didn't have the right resources. There may have been physical deprivation of the things that you needed, like cutting yourself off from love, or cutting yourself off or limiting your intake of even like physical food. And you're meant to be transmuting these patterns, okay? So like at soul level, you chose these particular past life timelines and also the genetic bloodline that you incarnated into to help you to unlock this sacred knowledge. So there's this sacred knowledge in your DNA that helps you to transmute this and overcome it through alchemy. So you're definitely an alchemist, group number 3. I see a monk as well. You were a monk in a past life. At least one of you, or in one past life, there was monk. There was that was something you did. Yeah, they keep showing me something like Amazon shamans, or like the chief of an Amazon tribe. You may have Connection to Goddess Pele. I just got that as well. Goddess Pele. Okay, there's something here about, they're telling me about invention as well. They're talking about inventing something. And there's like a stroke of genius that's going to come in for you, group number 3, and you're going to make a decision to pursue it because it is an open pathway for you. It's an open doorway where this old door was closed. All of a sudden you get this stroke of genius. They showed me the lightning striking, an invention or an idea that you're testing. It's a completely fresh approach. It's something you've never done before or that's never even been done before. It's highly innovative, highly innovative. I did just get a message that for somebody here, I don't think this is a message for everyone. This is just one message coming through about, it could be something to do with fashion. I just got a message of fashion design, sketching designs, a new idea in terms of fashion. Something that's never been done before. Yeah, I'm getting like pieces of the past coming back together, group number 3. So there's a lot of different like messages and downloads that are coming through even in just this reading. So I feel like this is something that you are experiencing or that you will be experiencing because you're going to be getting so much information coming in. This reading is kind of like an activation for you to help you to remember some of these things from your past, okay? So don't be surprised if after this reading you start having these downloads come in, especially when you're just doing like regular stuff in your day-to-day life. Maybe you're like working on something or even just like doing the dishes or something like that, making food, and then all of a sudden you have this idea or this inspiration or this concept pop into your mind. This is coming directly from spirit. This is coming directly from your higher self. Your oversoul, your guides are supporting this as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming in. If you feel called to work with certain archetypes, certain healing practices, certain gods or goddesses, like Pele came up obviously, but I think there could be others that you're being called to work with as well. Use those archetypes to your benefit here because this is going to help you to unlock certain things again within yourself that support some kind of an idea that you're creating or that you're going to be called to create, okay? So there's some kind of like a genius level insight, and spirit just gave me the word instruct, so they're going to instruct you on how to work with that and make steady progress in that direction. They just said field of study, okay? So that you could be called to learn something new. You could be called to a new field of study that really it helps you to innovate. It's a completely fresh approach. I did just see a baker baking like pizza in one of those like big stone ovens. Food could be important here. It could be something, it's something creative, that's for sure. I mean, because we had fashion design, we had like cooking. Yeah, there's some kind of innovation. This is the path you're meant to be on. It is connected to your life purpose. It is connected to your service to the collective. And they don't want you to get too hung up on this, but they are giving me a message that you need to kind of give up on what you've been doing, group number 3. Now, that's not, okay, if that doesn't resonate, don't take it, because it's not going to be for everyone. And everything and anything that you see in a reading is not always, meant to be taken literally, okay? So it's always good to interpret these things, but for whatever reason, they're giving me a message of like what you've been doing is not getting you where you need to go, and you kind of need to like stop doing that and go do something else, especially something that's going to contribute back to you just as much as you're giving to it. There may be an initial investment, but again, you're going to receive some kind of insight or guidance around what to do, and you kind of need to like burn down the old system and create a new one. That's like the destruction energy here with the destroyer card. So that's the alchemy. That's, you're kind of like destroying the old thing to make room for the new thing. And that dissolves the door. Okay, so this whole other path can open up. That's what I see for you, group number 3. I hope this reading helped you in some way. Maybe it's just giving you like a tip off to some of these insights that are coming in so you can be aware of them. Hopefully you'll get more information on that. And hopefully this reading gave you some clues as to what that might look like or some direction that might take you in, okay? So just take everything with a grain of salt, but keep it in your back pocket for later and see how things kind of unfold in terms of the other clues that you get from spirit, okay? So I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings as you move forward on this path that you are on towards your destiny and your purpose. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I love you, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye.